Have you ever played Mech and lose a game after game after game, and then you go back into your hangar and you go into your battle log and see that you have lost 5 matches in a row, and you just thought there has to be something that can help me win more battles? Well, first off, you need a better teammate, but other than that, you might need to change your settings around. Well, then in that case, you came to the right video. These are the best settings you can use in Mech. But before we start changing your settings around, we need to do something that'll make it easier for you and me. So what you're going to want to do is go to custom match, create match, and make sure there are no bots, and start. First up, we have the resolution. My FPS actually dipped to about 58 FPS. So when I lowered it to the lowest setting, here it's about 1400 by 900. So I recommend you put it to the highest resolution unless you want your screen to look like this. For graphic quality, you're going to want it to be on ultra, so then you can customize all of this to whatever you want. But if you put it on good or high, then you'll only have it to around 30 FPS, which is really bad on its own, and you'll have all of these on the lowest setting. So you'll want to put this on ultra. Next, we have the FPS limit. Of course, you're going to want to have it on no limit, because if you don't, then it'll look like this, really laggy looking. So put that to the max. The more FPS, the better. Now Vsync, you want this on no matter what type of device you have. If you have a high-ended device or a low-ended device, you always want this to be on, because this setting makes it so that there aren't any tears in your screen when you turn your mech. And this is what it looks like when you turn this setting off. Anisotropic filtering makes the graphics from far away or at an angle look as sharp as the graphics that are up close. I could barely tell the difference when this setting was on and off in CPC and in 2v2. So if you have a lower end computer and you want more frames per second, then I recommend turning this setting off. Now we have the shadow quality. This isn't the shadows for everything, like this background right here, but it's only for your mech and other mechs. So if you have a lower end computer, then I recommend having it on low, or if you have to, turn it off for more of an FPS boost. But you generally want it on so you can see enemy mechs around the corner. And you can barely tell the difference between the high setting and the low setting. So if you have a higher end computer or a decent computer, put it on high. And if you have a lower end computer, put it on low or off. Now we have Bloom FX. What this does is it enhances the light and it makes it a little bit brighter. And it doesn't really mess with your FPS, so I would just leave this on. Now motion blur, this is a terrible setting. Always have this off, because if you have it on, then it will blur your screen when you turn your mech, which is really bad. So you're gonna go to your settings and turn this off. So it makes it much better when you turn your mech. Now ambient occlusion is a shadow quality, but for the map. So you're gonna want to turn this off to help your FPS a little bit, and it can help see enemy mechs. So just turn that setting off. Now I'm not going to even try to pronounce this, but this setting, what it basically does is it makes jagged edges look smoothed out and look better. And here's what I recommend for this setting depending on what kind of device you have, but generally FXAA is used for lower end devices to boost performance. SMAA is a balance between performance and quality and is great for in between low and high end devices. And MSAA is the best for high end devices for a high quality edge smoothing. This setting isn't very noticeable, so it's a great FPS booster if you put it on FXAA. But if you have a decent computer or a high-end computer, then I recommend you put it on MSAA. And since you're doing the MSAA, you'll definitely be able to do the 4 times. But if that's too confusing, then I have a graph that I can show right here to help you understand which setting is the best for you. Next, we have the field of view. With this one, you're going to want to put it at 90 or max, because you want to see as much as you can, so you can spot as many enemies and see as much as the map as possible. Now we have the battle HUD scale. You're going to want this to be a little bit low, because if you have it too high, then it's going to take a lot more space on your screen. And if you have it too low, then it's going to be a lot harder to see. So I recommend that you put it pretty low, but not too low. So like around 20. And mouse sensitivity. This one, you don't want it super low, because then it'll take too much time to turn around. If an enemy mech is circling you, then you're going to want to be able to turn around easily and shoot back at them. So I recommend you have this at around 60, because if you have it too high, then it's going to be too hard to snipe other players. But don't just jump to 65 if you're at like 20. If you do that, then it's going to be such a big jump that it's going to be very hard to get used to it. So what I recommend is going up a little bit every time you get comfortable with the sensitivity you have until you get to 65. Now invert Y and X axes makes it so that if you move your mouse to the left, then your mech will turn to the right if it is on, which in my opinion I don't want. So I'm going to turn that off. And the same thing with the gamepad X axis, which is basically for mobile players, and same thing here as well. FPS and ping indicator, I would not have this on unless you're changing your settings and watching this video. Other than that, you should have this off. And then here, this is personal preference. I usually have the music on, but not right now. Now the crosshair, I would definitely put it on dot. Basically, it just helps with your accuracy. Next, we are definitely going to want to have the damage and ideal range, so you know where the sweet spot is for your weapon and how much damage you're dealing to your enemy. Now the mod display, I would definitely leave this on. I don't understand why you would want this off, because if you have it off, then you don't know what type of mods your enemy has. It'll only show the extra health that he has. So it's very useful and very important that you turn this on. So this setting makes it so that you have no aim assist. This setting makes it so that you have the most aim assist, and this one has a little bit of aim assist, just slightly. I personally use the no aim assist all the time. What you should do is you should use a specific aim assist setting for different types of weapons. For example, snipers are great with minimal or no aim assist because you want to be able to easily snipe one mech and then go to the other, and then go to a different one without having to move around too much. And then you want slight aim assist with a close quarters weapon, because you always want to be locked on to your enemy mech. You can also use the most aim assist for close quarters weapons, but in my opinion, I just think that that is just too much aim assist. Now we have the HUD layout. You see down there where it has my ammo and reloads and my ability button. It makes it so that is centered, or it could be shifted to the right. You can see where my ammo or reload thingy-majiggers are on the right, which I like a lot because I don't want to look at one end of my screen to another to look at my ammo, just to save time for split-second decisions. So I would change that to the right shifted setting. And I will show you my personal preference for my mobile layout right here. And the reason why I like this the best is because I don't have to stop moving in order to reload my weapons. And I could just use my right thumb to reload both or just one of my weapons. All of the button layouts are at the normal size, but they are at around 60% opacity. Now after knowing all of the best settings, you're going to want to know what the best weapons and mechs are. So I recommend you click these videos right here, and I'll see you there.